Shabbat Shalom, L'chaim L'chaim. This week's Torah portion is Vayeitzei. It opens up with Yaakov Avinu leaving his home place in Beersheba and going to Haran. If you remember from last week's Torah portion, he's leaving because Esav, his brother, wants to kill him. So his parents tell him, Yitzchak and his mother Rivka tell him to go to Haran to find a wife there. And on his way, he stops in a certain place, which will be the place of the Beis HaMikdash, and he goes to sleep. And he puts these stones, a few stones around his head, and he has this dream, a famous episode of the ladder ascending from the earth to the heavens with angels going up and down. And then he continues on from there, and he goes to Haran, and he stays with Lavan, which is his uncle, and I believe it's his uncle. And he gets married to Leah and Rivka, and he has the 12 tribes for his children. And by the end of the story, they're leaving. They're going out of that place. And the part I want to focus on is the dream. It's, such an iconic moment. I want to focus on it. It says that when he lies down, he puts these stones around his head. And there are different commentaries as to why. Some say for protection from animals, which is a question in itself, because what are the stones really going to protect? Another one says that the stones were all actually fighting to be under his head, to be his cushion. And later, when it says that, I think when he was getting up, it says he anointed the stone. And so the way the Midrash explains it is that all these stones that he put around his head were arguing, and they wanted to be, each one of them wanted to be the stone that the tzaddik would rest his head on. And so they all formed into one. And that's why it says that he anointed the stone, just one stone, because they all came together and formed into one stone. Now, the shir I listened to by Rabbi Y. Jacobson focused on this idea as unity. That real unity is when we all come together. It's a cliche at this point. When we all come together and we express that we're all different. The Torah's got 70 different faces, but we can come together to work together as one machine. That is real unity. What I wanted to focus on is how difficult this actually is. And I was watching the show. I don't want to say the name of the show because I'm not really sure if I would endorse it yet. There's, some curses and whatnot. But the show, this episode focused on one person who was split. They were in like a simulation, and they were split into many different characters in this whole world. And they realized that we're all one, we're all this one being, and we need to come together and work together if we ever want to achieve our greatest good. And I thought it's quite brilliant because this person, these characters are going around trying to, speak to others and tell them, listen, we're all one being. And it changes the dynamic of the world. But what it really made me think of was how difficult it is to get people to really understand this concept of unity, of oneness. It's one thing to say, you and I are different, but we can help each other. It's another thing for me to look at you and say, you're my brother, achi, you and I are blood, even if we're not blood, we're both Jews. It's another thing altogether to look at someone and say, you are me, if you're in pain, I'm in pain. I might not feel it, but it's true, it's happening. In fact, how much more so that I don't feel the pain, is it a terrible thing? And this episode really made me realize that it's this Baal Shem Tov teaching again where each person is a mirror, If I see someone doing something wrong, that means it's present in me as well. But it's taking it a step further to realize that unity is, you and I are one. Me and every person in this world are one because we're all part of Hashem. So much so to the extent that if I see someone doing something wrong, I should know this is all of us. This is all of our pain. This is all of our blemish. And this is something all of us need to fix. It starts with them. It starts with me. And I should care for them as I care for myself. So I really want to just push this point that understanding unity is an avoda. It's something that is not clear. It's something that we really need to focus on and meditate over if we want to understand what it means to really be one with every person in this world. And B'ezrat Hashem, if we're all metzliach in this way, which we should be, we'll really be able to start making giant steps towards greater unity with our people and setting better examples for those around us. Shabbat Shalom, L'chaim L'chaim.